And we're back. So the last video we reviewed the Artemis killer beer from Holland, the Netherlands. And now we have another Artemis. This is the Farmhouse Ale. And Artemis Brewing, or Artemis.
No.
No?
It's Artemis. You had it right the first time.
I had it right the first. So as you don't know, this is Jared. He's my son, also the cameraman.
Yeah.
So it's Artemis.
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 Artemis is the Greek goddess of the hunt, animals, and vegetation.
It's not Artemis.
It's not Artemis, no.
But what did you call me earlier?
You uncultured swine.
I'm an uncultured swine. So we did the Artemis
Artemis.
killer beer. And now we're doing the
Artemis
Farmhouse Ale. Then you can go back and run the camera.
I'm going to.
So,
sit in a fancy chair.
Yeah, he's got a fancy chair back there. He doesn't like the shop stool. So we do this very raw. This video is not edited. We shoot, we upload to YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and this is what you get. There's no fancy graphics, no fancy sounds. It is me sitting in my basement with Kalasha, the cigar store Indian that my father bought 20 years ago, and I got it when he passed. And then behind me is this weird wooden shelf with my Texaco airplane collection. And if we turn this camera, it's a mess back there. Literally, just like right here behind the camera is my laser engraver. So we do this as raw as we can, and that's what I like, and I hope you like it too. But we're back to the
Artemis
Farmhouse Ale that we're gonna drink tonight. The killer beer, when I poured it and when I popped the top, it kind of foamed. I was expecting a lot of head. That was also 9.2% ABV. This one, which I do like about this brewery, is only 6.3. It's supposed to be drank at 8 Celsius, which is about 38 degrees, 35 degrees. I'm just doing it in my head. Jared's saying 43. He may have looked it up. I'm doing this in my head, but I'm gonna say 38. We're within 5 degrees. I hit the last one within 2 degrees after I said I wasn't going to do the math in my head, and then I ended up doing the math in my head. So watch that video. This one pours really nice. Oop, it may be coming over. No, it didn't. Still a little bit left in there. The last one was bottle conditioned. I don't know if this one is or not. It looks like it may be. And I talked about this in the last video about bottle conditioned beer and how in the United States we did that. I mean, that's how it started. Sierra Nevada still bottle conditions and they keg condition their beer, whereas most of your breweries do forced conditioning, and a lot of your homebrewers are going to forced conditioning. I moved to forced conditioning 7 or 8 years ago. I have not bottle or keg conditioned myself in years, only because we're Americans and we're impatient. We live in a McDonald's society. We want it fast. We want it now. We want it cheap. Apparently in Holland, they're not there yet, or at least the brewery that was in the city where Ivar is from. And I can't remember. Do you know the city that Ivar? Jared can't remember either. I mean, Holland's a very small country. They're big-ish because they have little islands in the Caribbean, and they've got one up in like the northern Atlantic that's a really cool place, and I googled that one time, but can't remember right now. However, it's been a joy, and this is a bottle conditioned beer. I've got the yeast coming out of it. If you ever get a chance to research Holland or the Netherlands, and not Amsterdam, prostitution, legalized drugs, all that stuff. That's one city in that kingdom, because they are a kingdom. They have a different form of government than we have. But I was begging Ivar for the last year or so, and he told me, my neighbor brews beer, and he's got a brewery. I was like, why didn't you bring me beer? And you know, the exchange students are afraid of that, but their parents come over. And I said in the last video, we had some beer from Spain last year. Rodrigo's dad came over and brought some beer with him. Bella, his mom and dad, sent beer for me at Christmas when he was here from Germany. And I wish I'd have had this YouTube channel and this thing going on back then, but I didn't. But we're gonna host exchange students for a long time. So hopefully I'll get more international beers. This coming year in August, we're gonna be getting a kid from Belgium. We're also gonna be temporarily hosting a kid from Brazil. And I would be interested in some South American varieties. We always think of Europe and America as being the beer people. I've had some beer from Japan that's pretty good. My kid from Japan didn't bring me any beer this year, but he did introduce me to some sake and some Japanese whiskey, which is permanently shelf back here behind me here, because I do have that over here. But anyway, we're gonna do the Farmhouse Ale, and I haven't tasted this yet. I haven't smelled it. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be French style, but it may be Belgian style. We're gonna find out. So on the nose, I do get a lot of banana, a little bit of clove, which are very appropriate for this style. That's unique. This, I hate to say this, but I like to say this. I would call this an American Farmhouse Ale. This is what I would expect from a brewery right here in America. The hops on this, I mean, the neat thing about this brewery, they put the ABV. They also put the temperature you should drink the beer at, which we discussed. It's 28 IBUs. The color, 17. I would call it probably a little higher than a 17 on color, but color doesn't matter. But they do put that on their label, and I can't really show it on this video. I wish y'all could see this bottle a little closer. I would call this an American Farmhouse Ale, which I'm an American, and most of y'all are Americans. I've got a few international viewers, but wow. So the guys from Artemis, the guys from Artemis, you should think about United States, North American distribution. This is phenomenal. So I got banana on the nose, a little bit of clove, but on the flavor, this is, for the American palate, it's an extremely dry pale ale with caramel notes, and you do get the banana on the back on the finish. I'm not going to say this is going to win any award in any category under BJCP guidelines. It's not going to win anything, but drinking beer is not about winning awards and following guidelines. I mean, guidelines are for specific things, and I would still call this a farmhouse ale. But completely different. I wish I had another bottle of this to take down to my buddy at Whole River Farmhouse Ales in Saxapahaw. So all of y'all in North Carolina, shameless self-promotion for Ben Woodward down at Whole River Farmhouse Ales. head down there and try some of his, because this reminds me a lot of something like what Ben would brew in his brewery in Saxonpah, because Ben has come up with some really exotic and some great flavors. He did a 3 pepper beer one time, and I aged that for 4 or 5 years, and even told Ben that I had been aging it. Oh wow, I'd like to hear about that. And I wish I'd have started this channel before that. But this is something that Ben would do, and I'm gonna save this bottle, and maybe he can find something out about it and brew something like this. So this is the second of 4. The next 2 are going to be, one is an American IPA that's coming up. Not next, it'll probably be the last one. And then they have a session IPA that I will do next, and then I'll do the American IPA after that. But I'm going to sit back and finish enjoying this one. And until the next video, cheers.